TDS Halloween 2021 update reel. As I'm sure you guys have heard by now, the very first images of this year's Halloween event for Tower Defense Simulator have been released online. This picture of some kind of pumpkin creature was dropped by game developer RazuAddicts on the official Paradoxum Games Twitter account last night at midnight. This is huge because it's the first official proof that Lord Sinister is coming back. No, wait, I mean, not him. We killed him. So, who is this? Well, let's go ahead and jump right in and start analyzing every inch of this image to see what we can find out. The most obvious comparison people are making between this bad guy right here and another baddie that's already in the game is JACE. Now, JACE was one of the enemies from TDS's 2019 Halloween event, and it can also be spawned by the Jacko bot during the hidden wave. So, JACE is actually in the game right now. And the crazy thing about him is he has 50,000 health. That's more health than the Gravedigger, and the Gravedigger's a major boss. And so that fact is gonna be important for my theory about this update, but I'm gonna come back to it later. So why are people saying this is JACE? Well, mostly because of the glowing orange diamond on his chest, which is exactly the same as JACE's. And that would be a pretty big coincidence if they happen to be two completely different enemies, right? Another thing that makes these two creatures look very similar is the fact that this dude is obviously wearing some kind of armor that looks just like the armor that JACE wears. In fact, you can even see the orange strip that runs across JACE's stomach right here. And while that's not exactly what JACE has, this is most likely a redesign of the JACE enemy that's gonna be used in this year's Halloween event. Redesigning and reusing enemies that are already in the game is not exactly a new concept. This is what happened to the Frost hero from the Winter 2019 event. It got remade and put into the Winter 2020 event. So is this a remake of JACE? Is that why they both have the glowing orange diamond on their chest? Well, before I answer that question, let's go ahead and examine the differences between these two pumpkin-headed freaks to see why they might not be the same character. The first major difference I see is something I already pointed out. JACE does not have an orange strip running up his armor like this. So while that is a difference, I can admit that it's a minor difference, and it would make a lot of sense for that orange strip to be there if this was a remake. But if that's true and this is a remake, what's up with that face, bro? This face right here is completely different from JACE's face. While JACE has just a regular dumb pumpkin face, this dude right here has an awesome face. It's a completely different mouth, and it has a giant scar across its left eye. JACE doesn't look like that. And another glaring difference between the two enemies that I have to point out is the fact that JACE carries an axe. Of course he does. That's where his name comes from. And check this out here. Even the official TDS wiki states that JACE is a portmanteau of the words Jack and axe. But this guy, whoever he is, isn't holding an axe. He's holding a mace. Now, a mace is a medieval weapon that typically consisted of a strong, heavy wooden or metal shaft with a heavy head made of stone, copper, iron, or steel. This weapon was used to deliver powerful strikes and usually had flanges or knobs on the top for greater penetration of plate armor, and wouldn't you know it, that's exactly what this has. So homeboy's not carrying an axe, he's carrying a mace. And I think this is the best evidence against this being a JACE remake, because even when the Frost hero got updated, he still carried his original weapon, which was a sword. So while this might be a new and improved JACE, it's equally as possible that this guy is just somehow related to JACE, or even possibly a resurrected JACE from the Halloween 2019 event, as opposed to just an updated version of that enemy. Because I do have to admit, you can tell from this picture right here that this guy's skin is the same color as JACE's, right? It's that slimy green color. But the thing is, this can't be JACE because JACE carries an axe and this guy carries a mace. So obviously, if this guy's name is JACE, yes, we did it! We figured out his name! This is JACE, everyone. He carries a mace, and he's either JACE's brother who's coming to get revenge on us for killing JACE, or this is JACE himself resurrected, but now he's called JACE. So moving on, what else can we guess from this image? Just to get this out of the way, I'm gonna say right now that I do not think this is the Halloween 2021 event tower. I have an idea about what that's gonna be, but I'm not gonna cover it here. I'll make a completely separate video going over that theory later. For now, I'm just gonna guess guess that this is most likely one of many event enemies. And why do I think that? It has to do with these words down here. It's awakening with the Roman numeral 1 behind it. What does this mean? To get the answer to that question, we can pop on over to the Tower Defense Simulator Discord and look at what Razuadix wrote when he posted this image. Night 1 of question mark. I believe this gives away the entire theme of this year's Halloween event. Instead of the usual waves that you have to progress through as you play a normal game of TDS, I think it's going to be nights. And I think at the end of each night, there's going to be a strong mini boss until you eventually get to the final boss, which is going to be something like a Lord Sinister or a Frost Spirit that's super duper strong. Now, because of this possible night structure, people have already started comparing it to Five Nights at Freddy's. Admittedly, I've never played that game, so I'm not exactly sure how it goes, but I have played some other games that use this day and night system where you have to fortify your base during the day, and then when night starts, the enemies come out and you have to fight them and hope your base is strong enough to survive. This is definitely something the TDS devs could be doing for this year's event. It would be completely different from anything I've ever seen in the game, and it sounds awesome. If they are in fact doing this, I'd guess we get some money during the night as our towers fight the zombies, but we're not able to spend it. Then once the night ends, we have a certain amount of time, like 60 seconds or something, to place new towers and upgrade our current ones before the next night starts. Each night would have its own mini boss, and like I said earlier, JACE has 50,000 health. If this is him or an enemy like him, it completely makes sense that he'd be the boss of night 1, and I think that's exactly what Raz is saying here when he says night 1 of question mark. It's gonna be like night 1 of 5 or 10 or something like that. And this is a perfect structure because while 50,000 health is not a lot for your max level rangers to take down on the final wave, it's gonna be much harder to handle that on the first night, which is basically the first wave. If this is how the event is structured, I'm actually gonna guess that everyone starts with a fixed amount of cash, and the challenge is to use that cash to place down and upgrade towers that are strong enough to kill a 50,000 health boss. Then if you survive that night, you'll get another fixed amount of cash to place new towers or upgrade the ones you've already put down, and the challenge for the next night is that you have to kill a 75,000 health boss. And guess which boss just happens to have 75,000 health? That's right, the Mechanical Rot! The Jacobot mechanical abomination that's only in Hidden Wave. Are we finally gonna see the Mechanical Rot in an event? I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be Mechanical Rot. It can be some new Halloween enemy with 75,000 health. But if this first image of the Halloween event is in fact JACE, I think it's a good possibility that all of the mini bosses are gonna be resurrected enemies that we've seen before, but they're just gonna have a slightly different look. So then what we'd get on the third night is a boss with 100,000 health, and then on the fourth night, there's a boss with 200,000 health. And I don't know how many nights there's gonna be, but based on the fact that the Halloween 2020 event had 18 waves and the Winter 2020 event had 20 waves, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that this Halloween event is gonna have 15 nights. Now that's plenty of time to progressively build up to a stronger boss on the final night that only God knows how strong it'll be. I don't know where we go from the Frost Spirit having a massive 1 million health. Can we just do like a 500,000 health for this boss, please? The bottom line is that if everything I'm guessing comes true, I think this could be a very unique and very exciting event, which we should be expecting here in the next couple of weeks. So let's go ahead and move on to the possible timeline. When do I think this event is actually gonna drop? I know I've heard Wicked Colors say a couple of times that Raz stated he would not release any teaser images for this event until its release date was imminent. This is obviously to avoid the backlash that comes with delaying an update, which is understandable. So now that he's gone ahead and released an image and we still have 2 weeks until Halloween, I think we can expect to see this event either on October 31st or right before it. I just have this feeling that the devs know there's about 2 weeks worth of work left to do, so they're gonna start hyping the event up. And just to get this out of the way, I do not think they're gonna use the new matchmaking system for this event. I don't think it's ready, and Raz already said he's prioritizing releasing this event on time, as opposed to ramming the new matchmaking system into the game before it's ready and then potentially having to push the entire event back. And honestly, from my point of view, it'll be really nice to have an event released on time this time, because the only event I've been a part of that wasn't delayed was the Easter 2020 event, and for all I know, it was delayed because it was already out by the time I started started playing TDS, so I don't know. Now, to wrap this video up, I think they're gonna start teasing the event by releasing images of the different bosses from each night, because if there are 15 nights in the event and they're starting to release images today, we are exactly 15 days away from Halloween. So they could potentially release an image every night for every single boss, and the last one would come out the day before Halloween. So I don't know, man. I think it all adds up. So why don't you guys go ahead and let me know down in the comments below what you think this is all about. What are your guesses for this image? Is this JACE? Is it not JACE? Do you think this event is gonna be nights instead of waves? And how pumped are you to go straight from winter to Halloween? I'm gonna be making more videos with more predictions soon for you guys. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smash that like button with your forehead, hit the subscribe button with your big toe, and turn on notifications however you can so you don't miss any of my amazing upcoming content. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, be safe, and never forget what I always say.